think having a constitution in writing would mean it'd be really easy for everyone to agree what it says. Just read the parchment.
Well, as a matter of fact, the entire American Revolution really revolved around constitutionality. And the trouble there was the British Constitution was unwritten. The British Constitution was a collection of documents. It was customary practice, the way things had always been done. And the colonists' view was that if the British government starts reaching for powers that it's never exercised before, then it's breaking with the way things have always been done, and so it's violating the British Constitution.
When Parliament was saying we're doing things traditionally, they also meant, well, we're going to keep changing what that tradition means. So it's like this. Let's suppose I bring you over my house for a traditional Thanksgiving dinner. Sure, we got a turkey, but it's made out of tofu. And then for the side, we got mashed potatoes. They're not cooked, but boy did I mash them. And a nice delicious bowl of cranberries, unsweetened, because we know sugar's bad for you. So this is why the early Americans were so against this use of tradition. They wanted to know what they were getting when it comes to the government.
And that's why it was so important for Americans to write the Constitution down, because they felt like the British Constitution, figuring out what that meant, was like nailing jelly to a wall. I've often thought that there have been times it would be helpful when I'm playing poker to play a living, breathing poker game, so that I've got a pair of deuces, somebody else has a full house, and I say, well, look, sorry, these rules are living and breathing. You're living in the past, man. Pair of deuces wins automatically. Nobody would ever want to play again. You can't run a society like this. It was Justice William Brennan who really popularized this term, the living Constitution, and the implication of it was that if you don't want the Constitution to just change with the times, then you're some ignorant idiot living in the past.
And there have been many, many times the Constitution has changed with the times via the amendment process. The overwhelming number of them have been highly bipartisan because you need 2/3 of the Senate votes and you need 3/4 of the states. And anyone can rattle off what those changes are. Voting age, term limits to the president, popular election of senators, allowing women to vote. So yeah, when times change, the process has been in place. And not only to have the amended Constitution, they've unamended it after Prohibition when they saw that that didn't work. And of course, you can very easily see who would look to the Constitution as a living document, because it's people who didn't like what it had to do in the past. Now, they want to change it, but they don't want to do all the work that went into changing it.
The thinking behind the living, breathing Constitution is that the amendment process is too slow and clunky. We got a big agenda of things we want to do here. So it would be better to just say, well, look, yeah, we know the Constitution doesn't authorize this, so let's let the judges kind of decide how we apply the Constitution to our modern life.
If a large part of the Constitution is meant to limit the powers of government, to have those government officials rewrite what those limits are and say, oh, handcuffs? Yeah, let's just make those out of spaghetti. Oh, you want to lock me in the cell? Yeah, let's make it out of candy and I'll eat my way out, Hansel and Gretel style. It's very convenient for them if they're the ones who get to rewrite what the limits are on their own power.
As a matter of fact, a living, breathing Constitution is really a dead Constitution. Because if it can change at the whim of the government, then what kind of a bulwark is it going to be in defense of your liberties? It can't defend your liberties if it can constantly be changing. So it's not living, it's dead.